Whoa, guys, it is happening. It is finally happening. WATA graded games population reports are coming soon. Stick around. Hello to all my retro game collectors and investors. How the heck is everybody doing? I apologize. I know it's been about a month since my last video. That is not typically the way that I roll. It's been a crazy little bit of life over the last few weeks, but I'm finally getting caught up. I'm finally there. So I should be coming out with more frequent videos. It won't be every day or anything, but it will not be a month. It will not be a month till my next upload. And I do have some new pickups that I want to share. So expect to see some of that coming up soon. Again, apologies, I have missed you all. Let's dig into the big news. WATA games. All right, so WATA has been under siege over the last few weeks because of all the demand for just more advancements kind of in the population report information. It's one of those things where when you have a grading company that really is kind of the main grading company outside of VGA, it's been WATA over the last few years that is really kind of the go-to. But unlike sports cards, unlike coins, unlike comic books, we don't have population reports to go off of. So as we're trying to, whether you're a collector, investor, or hybrid, when you're trying to figure out price points for this stuff, it's very helpful to have that population report to be able to refer back to it and say, okay, there's 50 of these that we can see so far that have been graded. So based on that, I think this is a price that I would be willing to pay, or there's one of these, or there's 1,000 of them. Whatever the case may be, it's incredibly important to have these population reports so you can figure it out. And whether that's we're talking about sealed games or we're talking about CIB games, it's just very, very important. So WATA sent out a notice. They sent out a notice here recently by email. I saw it on Instagram and Twitter and a few other places. But essentially they are announcing that at the end of this month, so I'm assuming that's November, at the end of November, there will be a population report that comes out. It's exciting. The way that this announcement reads is that the initial pop release will be limited to NES games. So I'm assuming that's just original Nintendo games, and will not include seal ratings at first, but more games and more complete pop details will soon follow. And I think the other thing that I guess I'm curious about is does it also include CIB, or are they just talking about a sealed games population report? Because for me, I don't own any sealed games. All the stuff I have is CIB, because frankly, the sealed stuff, the price points are just way too high for where I am. But I love the CIB stuff. I collect the original black box Nintendo games, and then a few others. I've got Kid Icarus. I'm looking at Metroid. So, some of that original Nintendo stuff is really what I'm focused on, the vintage video games, if you will. And so I'm curious to see kind of what this initial pop report looks like, if it's going to include CIB stuff and sealed, or if it's just going to be sealed, without the ratings. And so I think what's probably going to happen is this thing is going to come out and people are going to be like, yes, we've got this, but we want more. We want it to be more robust. And so I think there's just going to be more pressure, on WATA to continue on to build it out. But I think that they will do that. As it mentions in the release, WATA was acquired by Collectors Universe, and that is Nat Turner and his group of investors that also bought PSA. And with this acquisition, of course, I assumed that this was going to be the case, because PSA, well known for the set registry, well known for the population reports, it's just part of advancing this particular market, this video game collecting market. It's going to be population reports to go with the grading and more, and even more, technology and everything else. That's what they're working towards. So this is absolutely no surprise. It was just a matter of when, not really if. And so this is great. It also says in the release too that they are open to feedback to make sure that the details are right. If there's any errors, they will look to correct those. And they want, of course, feedback so that they can build it out as best as possible. And I'm sure there will be no shortage of feedback going back to WATA on this population report. This is a big deal as far as advancing this space. And again, like for me, I collect a lot of the CIB original NES stuff. I've got an Atari game back there as well. But for the most part, it's the games that I played as a kid that I grew up with. I just saw a trailer for 8-Bit Christmas, which looks incredible. For anybody that's my age, I'm 40, and you played those games, that movie looks like the best Christmas movie ever made, and I haven't even seen it yet. I'm really, really excited about it, the nostalgia that comes along with all that stuff. And so I'm excited for everything, whether it be, video game collecting, and then also just kind of the attention that Hollywood is putting towards kind of that nostalgia that we have, kind of that 35 to 50-year-old age group with the original video game stuff and the retro games that have really kind of, come back into the fray. It's exciting. I think that people are really taking seriously the box art on a lot of these retro games and just how cool it was. I've mentioned it in other videos, but you have, these CryptoPunk NFTs that are so popular, and really like the original 8-bit stuff is this stuff. It's the original NES black box stuff. These characters, I love it. So guys, thank you very much for joining me here today. This is we're moving forward. Everything is moving forward. Thank you again for being patient with me. I know I haven't put out a video in a while, but that will change. There will be more videos coming. So hit that subscribe button if you're new. And if you like what you hear, hit the like button. We will continue on with more retro game news, as well as just the investing and collecting in graded games. All right, guys. Have an amazing night. Stay healthy. Stay awesome. I will talk to you again later.